안녕하세요. 미디어 프로젝트 3주 1차 강의를 시작하겠습니다. 오늘은 챕터 3 기하급수 기업의 외적 요소입니다. 현대 기업들은 과거 기업에 비해 제품과 서비스 출시 속도가 훨씬 빠르다는 데 대해서 대단한 자부심을 갖고 있습니다. 그러나 기하급수 기업들은 이보다 훨씬 뛰어난 성과를 거두고 있습니다. 기하급수 기업이 큰 확장성을 가질 수 있는 근본 동력은 두 가지가 있습니다. 그 첫 번째는 해당 회사 제품의 일부 측면이 정보화되었다는 점입니다. 정보화되었기 때문에 모어의 법칙을 타고 정보 특유의 배가 성장 패턴을 따를 수가 있습니다. 두 번째는 정보화라는 것이 본질적으로 유동적이기 때문에 사업의 주요 기능이 회사 밖으로, 다시 말해 이용자나 팬층, 협력사 또는 일반 대중에게까지 이전될 수 있다는 점입니다. 모든 기하급수 기업에는 공통적 특징이 몇 가지 있습니다. 그 중 하나는 거대한 변화를 불러오는 목적, Massive Transformative Purpose, MTP라고 합니다. 다른 것들은 기하급수적 성장을 이루기 위해 적극 활용되는 내적, 외적 메커니즘에 따른 10가지 속성입니다. 외적 속성 5가지는 Scale, SCALE라는 약어로 표현하고 내적 속성 5가지는 Ideas, IDEAS라는 약어로 표현합니다. 기하급수 기업의 속성을 이해하는 데 도움이 되는 좋은 비유는 두뇌의 좌뇌와 우뇌입니다. 우뇌는 성장과 창의성, 불확실성을 관장하는 반면 좌뇌는 질서와 통제, 안정성에 초점을 맞춥니다. 다음은 거대한 변화를 불러오는 목적 MTP입니다. 기하급수 기업은 크게 생각하는 것이 기본 중의 기본입니다. 여기에는 그럴 만한 이유가 있습니다. 작게 생각하면 빠른 성장을 이뤄줄 비즈니스 전략을 추구하기가 어렵기 때문입니다. 작게 생각하면 기업이 용케 놀라운 수준의 성장을 달성하더라도 금세 사업 규모가 해당 기업의 비즈니스 모델을 뛰어넘어 버리기 때문에 기업이 갈 곳을 잃고 헤매게 됩니다. 기하급수 기업들의 미션 스테이트먼트를 보면 그런 것을 발견할 수 있습니다. 테드는 전파할 가치가 있는 아이디어, 구글은 세상의 모든 정보를 조직화한다, 엑스프라이스 재단은 인류를 위한 근본적인 돌파구를 마련한다. 자세히 들여다보면 이 기업들의 선언문은 모두 매우 큰 열망을 표현하고 있음을 알 수 있습니다. 그 중에 단 하나도 자사가 무엇을 하는 회사인지 직접 설명하는 선언문은 없습니다. 오히려 각 기업은 자사가 무엇을 성취하고자 하는 열망하는지를 이야기합니다. 그 열망은 좁은 범위도 아니고 특정 기술의 하나지도 않습니다. 오히려 기업 내외, 특히 외부 사람들의 머리와 가슴을, 그리고 상상력과 포부를 사로잡으려고 합니다. 비교적 작은 시장에 속한 기업도 MTP를 생각하는 것이 가능합니다. 한 예로 달러 쉐이프 클럽은 한 달에 1달러라는 구호를 외치면서 면도 업계를 변화시켰습니다. 다음에는 관련된 동영상입니다.
I noticed the company in 2012 just the same day that everyone else did, the day that video went viral.
What was so fascinating about this company wasn't necessarily the product. What got us all paying attention back in the day was this crazy YouTube video.
It's this close-up shot, and he says, "Hi, I'm Mike, CEO of Dollar Shave Club."
What is DollarShaveClub.com? Well, for $1 a month, we send high-quality razors right to your door. Yeah, $1. Are the blades any good? No. Our blades are great.
A bunch of great humor, but focused on price and convenience. And I think what he knew is that razors are expensive and they're inconvenient to buy. Guys don't like to go shopping. They lock down these razors in the razor fortresses, make them really hard to get out. And he just went at that sort of slice of life humor.
We've seen these e-commerce companies over the last year. Some have done well, some haven't done well. With this idea that you could build a brand and you could build it on the internet. You didn't need to have a physical space to build a company. That was unique years ago.
So what's happened in the last 5 years? Well, all of our attention went from TV and radio and newspapers to the internet, mobile phones, and people are going to stores much less. Right? The foot traffic to retailers is down. It's been down for 4 or 5 years straight, and it's accelerating. And everyone's just gone to Amazon and online. So if you are a company that depends on TV advertising to build your brand and dominates store shelves in physical retail as a place for you to get to customers, you don't know your customers, and you're not good at social media. So you're kind of vulnerable in our mind. So our view is in the social world, every brand has to be a direct-to-consumer brand. And Unilever, recognizing that and buying Dollar Shave Club, I think is sort of the ringing of the bell of that realization.
Where do you think the state of retail is right now? Everything has changed. A lot of the big fashion chains are struggling. Everyone's trying to figure out e-commerce, and is this working, and is there a combination? As an investor, where do you think it sits?
I think physical retail of stores that sell largely other people's products are dead. It's over. Amazon is dominating. 50% of all incremental retail dollars spent online go to Amazon. With that happening, if you're a company that makes consumer products that are sold largely through those stores, you need to have a different story other than I'm dependent on Walmart and Target and Macy's and Walgreens.
So many times we have these moments where I'm sitting across from you in a company that you invested in first and you believed in has sold for $1 billion, but this is a rarity, right? This doesn't happen all the time. What role does failure play in your life and as a venture capitalist, and also as you see for entrepreneurs?
It's a learning experience, right? We look at failure as data. What mistakes did I make? What could I have done differently? And fortunately, as a venture capitalist, we have a portfolio of investments and we expect a bunch to fail. So I've made plenty of mistakes. I've invested in people that actually weren't that good. I've picked markets that are really hard, that have too much friction in them to make a sale. So you look for these places to learn.
여기서 MTP는 미션 스테이트먼트가 아니라는 점을 기억해야 합니다. 시스코의 미션 스테이트먼트는 전혀 고무적이지도 열망에 차지도 않습니다. 예를 들면 고객과 직원, 투자자 협력사들에게 유례없는 가치와 기회를 창조하여 인터넷의 미래를 만들어간다 입니다. 만약 우리가 시스코의 MTP를 대신 써본다면 어떻게 될까요? 언제 어디서나 모든 사람과 사물을 연결한다 정도는 되어야 하지 않을까요? MTP를 제대로 갖췄을 때 얻게 되는 가장 중요한 결과는 문화가 만들어진다는 점입니다. 끌어당김의 힘이라고 부를 수 있습니다. MTP는 사람들의 커다란 의욕을 고취해 기하급수 기업을 중심으로 커뮤니티를 만듭니다. 이 커뮤니티는 자체적으로 운영되기 시작하고 궁극적으로는 해당 기업을 위한 커뮤니티와 집단 그리고 문화가 만들어집니다. 애플과 테드에는 제품 또는 서비스에 열광하는 자체 생태계가 형성되어 있는데 이 생태계는 말 그대로 그 제품과 서비스를 중심기업으로부터 분리시켜 자신들의 것이라고 생각합니다. 그에 관한 마케팅과 지원 서비스, 심지어 디자인과 제조까지도 말입니다. MTP가 만들어내는 이런 문화적 변화는 부차적인 효과까지 가지고 있습니다. 직원들의 관심의 초점을 내부 정치에서 외부 영향력으로 이동시킵니다. 현재 대부분의 대기업들은 내부에 초점이 맞춰진 나머지 시장이나 고객에 대한 감을 잃어버리는 경우가 많습니다. 무엇이 어떻게 바뀔지 모르는 세상에서 이런 관점은 치명적입니다. 요즘 기업들은 끊임없이 밖을 살펴도 모자랍니다. 기술적 위협이나 경쟁 위협이 급격히 다가오고 있지 않은지 시선을 떼어서는 안 됩니다. MTP에서 가장 중요한 것은 P, Purpose, 목적입니다. MTP의 목적은 다음과 같은 두 가지 중요한 왜라는 질문에 답할 수 있어야 됩니다. 첫째, 이 일을 왜 하는가? 둘째, 우리 회사는 왜 존재하는가? 다음은 MTP의 경쟁 우위입니다. MTP가 뚜렷하면 특히 선도자들에게 유리합니다. MTP가 충분히 포괄적이라면 경쟁자들도 그 밑으로 들어갈 수밖에 없습니다. 강력한 MTP는 새로운 인재를 채용하거나 기존에 뛰어난 인재를 꼭 붙들어 두는데도 큰 도움이 됩니다. 인재 영입 경쟁이 날로 치열해지는 요즘 특히 중요한 부분입니다. MTP는 고객이나 직원뿐 아니라 기업을 둘러싼 생태계 전체를 위해서도 효과적인 유인책이자 응집력의 원천이 됩니다. 결과적으로 MTP는 이런 이해관계자를 유치하고 보유하는 비용 및 그들과의 거래 비용을 낮춰줍니다. 시간이 지나면 기업의 브랜드는 MTP와 섞이면서 점점 더 큰 열망을 드러냅니다. 열망을 일으키는 브랜드는 해당 기하급수 기업의 커뮤니티에 선순환 고리를 만들기 때문입니다. 고객들은 제품에 만족할 뿐 아니라 점차 자신이 더 크고 자랑스러운 어떤 운동의 일부가 되었다는 점을 뿌듯하게 느낍니다. 열망을 불러일으키는 브랜드 전략은 외부 동기가 아닌 내부 동기를 활용함으로써 비용을 낮추고 목표 달성률을 높이고 새로운 것을 배우는 속도를 높입니다. MTP를 추구하면 경제적 이점도 있습니다. 세계는 수많은 난관에 직면해 있고 전 세계적 골칫거리는 전 세계적 시장이라는 말이 있습니다. 긍정 심리학의 대가 셀리그먼은 행복의 세 가지 상태를 구분합니다. 즐거운 삶, 훌륭한 삶, 그리고 의미 있는 삶. 여기서 의미 있는 삶은 목적을 찾고 자아를 초월하여 더 높은 선을 향해 노력하는 것입니다. 연구에 따르면 이른바 밀레니얼 세대는 삶에서 의미와 목적을 추구한다고 합니다. 전 세계적으로 그들의 열망은 점점 더 커지고 있고, 그래서 똑같은 열망을 품은 기업에게 고객으로서, 직원으로서, 투자자로서 끌리게 될 것입니다. MTP를 가지고 그 교리를 실천하는 기업에게 끌린다는 이야기입니다. 실제로 앞으로는 개인들 역시 자신만의 MTP를 가질 것이고, 그 MTP들은 기업의 MTP와 함께 나아가고 또 겹쳐지면서 공생하게 될 것입니다. 그들 모두가 매슬로우의 욕구 단계 중에서 자아 실현 단계를 추구하고 있을 것입니다. MTP와 매슬로우의 욕구 단계는 근본적인 면에서는 크게 다르지 않습니다. MTP의 가치와 전제 조건을 정리해 보겠습니다. 첫째, MTP는 왜 중요한가? 일관성이 있는 기하급수적 성장을 가능하게 해줍니다. 집합적 열망을 하나로 묶어줍니다. 기업 생태계 전반으로부터 최고의 인재를 끌어옵니다. 사내 정치에 연연하지 않는 협조적 문화를 배양합니다. 기민하게 움직이고 새로운 것들을 배우게 합니다. 두 번째로 전제 조건입니다. 고유한 것이어야 한다. 리더들이 실제로 보여주어야 한다. 거대한 변화를 불러오는 목적이어야 한다. 입니다. 다음에는 관련된 동영상입니다.
We use the term massively transformative purpose to make you realize how powerful you are. That a single individual driven by a purpose can change the world, and you can change the world. I truly believe that. So, what I'd like to do is share with you what an MTP is. You can have an MTP personally. I have one personally, I'll share with you. Or you can have one for your startup or your company. And every company should have an MTP. So what is a strong MTP? Here's an MTP. Let's see if you know whose MTP this is. Organize the world's information. If you said Google, you're right? This is no small task. Organize the entire world's all information. It's Google's MTP. It's massive, it's transformative, and it's a purpose. Another one is ideas worth spreading. And of course, if you are a TED fan like I am, that's TED's MTP. Here's a third one, positively impact the lives of 1 billion people. And if you are an SU grad, and I hope you all will be, that's the MTP of Singularity University, to help entrepreneurs create companies that can positively impact the lives of 1 billion people. So those are strong MTPs. You know, weak MTP is something like to increase shareholder value, blah, 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 blah. And what are the attributes of an MTP? So if you're thinking about MTP for yourself, it's uniquely yours, right? If you said your MTP is to organize the world's information, no, that's Google's MTP. So it's uniquely yours. It completely inspires you. It wakes you up in the morning. It gets you going in your shower time. It's like, okay, this is my mission. This is my purpose. This is my MTP. It's neither too narrow or technology specific, because technology change and too narrow limits you. It's aimed at the heart and the mind, right? And a great MTP hits the heart as meaningful, and the mind is, how am I going to do that? And then it's something that you can declare with sincerity and confidence. So let me share with you my personal MTP. And I came up with this MTP. I was at Date with Destiny with my dear friend Tony Robbins, one of the saints on planet Earth, one of the most amazing, smartest, visionary people that I know. Kudos to you, Tony. And in this week-long Date with Destiny program, they don't call it an MTP, but it's a purpose, right? And so here's mine. My personal MTP is to inspire and guide the transformation of humanity on and off the earth. I say that every morning, a number of times, in the shower, when I'm meditating, at night before I go to sleep. Literally, my purpose, my MTP is to inspire and guide the transformation of humanity on and off the earth. And part of that is what I'm doing with you. I want to inspire and guide you as entrepreneurs. We're creating this transformation from scarcity to abundance, from 8 billion individuals to what I call a meta-intelligence. And we're doing that both on the earth and off, and it's happening in the next 20 to 30 years. My MTP for my organization, PhD Ventures, that runs Abundance 360 and runs Abundance 360 Digital, our MTP here as an organization is empowering entrepreneurs to generate extraordinary wealth while creating a world of abundance. And so part of that, where we go even one level more concrete, is to empower 1 million entrepreneurs, right? So my goal is to help empower you with knowledge, with connections, with relationships, to help you get your MTP, to help you get your moonshot, to create wealth. And wealth is by no means the only important thing. Wealth is a means to an end. But ultimately, for you to help uplift humanity and create this world of abundance. Again, I've said this before, I want to become a billionaire, help 1 billion people. Amazing time to be alive. So finally, the benefits of an MTP. For an organization, it's the power of pull. If you have a powerful MTP, it pulls the best employees in the world to work for you. It changes your organizational focus from an internal politics to an external impact. You know, why are we doing this? What's our MTP? Let's focus on doing that. And then keeps you and your leadership team focused during rapid growth and periods of stress. And during this period of tsunami of change, a lot of rapid growth coming. And in the next video, my goal is to help you figure out what your MTP is. So do some thinking about it between now and next time.
다음은 어펜딕스입니다. 지금까지 시청하신 것으로 이번 차수의 수업이 인정됩니다.
Apple had never done anything this massive before.
And that's when Bill turned to Steve and said, Steve, this is going to be bigger than the Mac. And Steve said, I know.
We looked around and we noticed that almost everyone around us had phones. And everyone was complaining about their phones. And we thought, could we build something better?
You know, it's a roller coaster ride. And if it ain't scary, it ain't fun.
The iPod was selling, it was selling better and better. It was probably 50% of our sales around this time. And so we kept asking ourselves, what concerns do we have about the iPod success long term? What will cannibalize iPod sales? And one of the biggest concerns was cell phones.
First, we were making the iPod plus phone with a, you can say in a way, a hardware keyboard because it was using the interface of the iPod. Well, we tried, I think, 30, 40 different ways of making the wheel not become a old rotary phone dial, right? And nothing seemed logical or intuitive. And so at the end of the day, you could select from a list, right? That was what the iPod was all about. But then to actually dial a real number, it was so cumbersome, it was like, this is never gonna work.
And then I remember one day sitting at lunch with Steve, and he and I both had our phones out. And Steve said, you know that technology we're building to do touch for the tablet? Could we shrink that down into something the size of something that could fit in your pocket and make a phone out of that technology?
Steve goes, come over here, I need to show you something. I said, sure, show me something. And so he walked me into the room, and he goes, it was basically like a ping pong table-sized demo with a projector that was projecting a Mac interface on it. And he was like, check this out. It was, And you would use your whole hand, and you could touch different things like it was a big, big Mac. And he's like, look at that, whap, 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 whap. And I can do 2, and I can do 3, and I can do, I'm like, let's get all around it and do it. And it was literally a ping pong sized multi-touch display. And he goes, I think this is gonna solve our problem.
There was a time in 2005, I think it was, that we'd been doing a lot of designs, but the designs weren't quite there yet. It didn't feel complete. And Steve came to one of our design meetings and he said, this isn't good enough. Like, this is it. You have to come up with something so much better. This is not good enough.
He didn't have to read tea leaves. I mean, he said, if you don't start showing me something good soon, I'm gonna give the project to another team.
And he said, you have 2 weeks. And so we went back and Greg assigned different specific ownership of different pieces of the design to different people. And that team worked 168 hours a week for 2 weeks. I mean, they never stopped. When they did stop, Greg got them a hotel room across the road so they wouldn't have to drive home if they lived in San Francisco. And at the end of those 2 weeks, I remember looking at this thing and thinking, this is phenomenal. Like, this is it. Like, we have cracked it.
The first time he saw it, he was completely silent. He didn't say a thing. He didn't say a thing, he didn't gesture, he didn't ask a question. And then he sat back and said, show it to me again. And so we go through it again, we go through the whole thing again. Yeah, Steve was pretty much blown away by the demonstration. It was great work. Our reward for doing a great job on that demonstration was to, kill ourselves over the next 2.5 years.
The biggest science project of the entire endeavor, I think, for software was the soft keyboard. We knew we'd be able to create a keyboard, but we knew we'd be compared against the BlackBerry. The BlackBerry was the most popular smartphone out at the time. It was called the Crackberry, right?
We hadn't seen multi-touch in action, right? Was multi-touch touchscreen actually going to deliver a good enough? And how good is good enough compared to this keyboard, this Crackberry keyboard?
We're bringing up a whole vocabulary. We're bringing up a visual vocabulary, what the touch interactions would be like. Pinch to zoom and the scrolling behavior with the, we call it rubber banding, the bounce at the end of a scroll to indicate you're at the end of the list. It was all new.
I remember we got somewhere in, I think it was early 2006, and I could see the light at the end of the tunnel for the iPhone OS. I could see when it was going to ship. The keyboard wasn't there. Its accuracy was poor. It was hard to use. If you wanted to write an email, you'd give up. And so I went and I froze all development on all applications. And every UI developer at this point moved over, and I said, we're going to spend a few weeks and everyone's building keyboards. And at the end of, let's say 3 weeks, we all got together in a conference room and everyone got up and started demoing the keyboards they'd created. And some of these were just crazy. I mean, you'd do these gestures, these super complex gestures that were really hard to learn. And one guy came in with his keyboard. It looked like a natural QWERTY keyboard. It's the kind of keyboard you use on your computer. It looked just like that. We started to use it, and it worked amazingly well. It was so accurate, which was completely different from the one we had 3 weeks earlier that looked similar but didn't work at all. So we started digging into, what did you do? And there are all these techniques he used, AI techniques and others, to figure out what you're trying to type. So if you type the letter T, there's a high probability you're going to type H next. The is a common word. So the H button would stay the same physical size to your eye, but the hit region would grow. And so when you went toward the H, you're probably going to hit the H now. And now the E is probably huge as a hit region, and you're going to hit the E. It would figure these things out.
We have all these teams learning in parallel, right? We had to have an antenna team. And so we all made a 1.0 prototype phone, and we're like, if we would have known what we know now, back when we were making this prototype, we would have done this differently, and this differently, and this differently. And we're like, okay, blow it up. Now let's build the real one. And that's what was shipped.
We were given, you know, okay, the screen's going to be this big, right? And then we were given plastic prototypes of the touch screen technology. We knew the general form factor, but it was a while before we saw anything approaching final industrial design. Just as we weren't seeing the hardware at the time, the team working on the hardware wasn't allowed to see the software at the time. I mean, it was very compartmentalized.
We put a poster up on the wall that was the poster of Fight Club. First rule of Fight Club is you don't talk about Fight Club. First rule about the Purple Project, that was the code name, was you don't talk about the Purple Project.
I can't speak to the efficiency, but I can tell you that it worked because not one person knew what iPhone was going to look like, right, before that keynote. People thought they knew that Apple was doing a phone, but nobody knew what they were going to see that day in January at the keynote.
Every once in a while, a revolutionary product comes along that changes everything. And we are calling it iPhone.
We demoed almost every feature. We played music. We took calls during music. We went to really large and complex websites. I mean, it was a major real demo, and everything was live. So I sat there just sweating the whole time. I was so nervous about it.
When you run into bugs today, that's because it's been worked out. Like then it's just the first time. Like and you would go, okay, press this one now, wait 2 seconds, press this now. But it was so choreographed. If you went off the script, it could, right? So you had to make sure when the demoers knew exactly what they were supposed to do at which time.
You do a great demo at Macworld Expo. The people in the audience are either media, Apple employees, or people who would pay money to like go to this conference about, you know, the products of their favorite computer company. It's pretty industry specific. The fact that you saw people in lines around stores or lines stretching into parking lots at not just Apple stores, but at every AT&T store was, in retrospect, it's really the first inkling that this is going to have a broader societal impact rather than just being the best phone ever.